Good afternoon, beautiful people. I'm out in the great, glorious, fresh air today, and I've been feeling pretty under the weather. I've got a stinking cold, so I'm out to collect me some of this incredible wild herb called self-heal. With a name like self-heal, this beautiful wildflower doesn't really need any introduction. It also goes by the name of heal all. So I can imagine you all know exactly what this wild herb is good for. This herb is part of the mint family. It's 100% edible, and it's one of the most studied medicinal herbs in the entire world. So come with me and we'll explore everything to do with self-heal, and then we'll head back home and I'll show you exactly how you can bring this incredible wild herb into your life. So this incredibly bright purpley beautiful wildflower's name, self-heal, what a spectacularly special name it already has, and it's just as commonly known as heal all, but its Latin name is Brunella Vulgaris. Now Brunella Vulgaris doesn't really create a majestic name like many Latin names can. It's more of a description of the heal all's medicinal benefits, because prunella comes from the word Brunella. Now Brunella also itself comes from the German word dye brown, and that was used to describe something called quinsy, an inflammation of the throat. And vulgaris means common or vulgar or common folk. So self-heal could be called self-heal, or it could be called quinsy vulgar for the common folk, to describe its medicinal benefits all around the antiviral properties. So one of the many reasons that self-heal, heal all is so incredibly amazing is because it's completely edible, and you can use it in things like soups and stews and salads, or of course you can just eat it fresh and raw straight from the earth. The little flowers are the best part, because these can contain a little bit of sweet nectar. And now you can eat the rest of the plant raw, but it's relatively flavourless. It hasn't much flavour at all, but that's what makes it shocking, because for a plant with such a lack of flavour, it sure does pack a very powerful medicinal and nutritional punch, because this wildflower is packed full of vitamins A, B, C and K, as well as those precious antioxidants. Now it's because of these antioxidants it's led this plant to be so heavily studied today. Now I've got a seriously heavy cold right now, so I'm going to quickly make myself a fresh cup of herbal tea. And to do that, I'm simply going to put a few self-heal flowers in my cup, make sure they're bug free, and add some hot water. Now I'm going to let that stew for a while, and that should help me start to feel a lot better. So firstly, if you want to start bringing this herb into your life, you need to learn how to correctly identify it. So come in a bit closer and we'll learn how to identify this incredible wildflower. So to identify self-heal, firstly it grows up to about 30 centimeters tall, and then secondly you have the stem. It has a square stem because it's in the mint family. So when you rotate this wildflower around in your hand, this herb, you'll feel that it has a square stem. And then you have the leaves. The leaves grow on opposite sides to each other, and they're like long arrowheads. Now if you look at the bottom of these leaves, along the spine underneath, you can see that it kind of has fuzzy little hairs going across the underneath of these leaves. Now when you get to the top of this wildflower, you'll see that it's covered in a lovely shade of browny red, and within this browny red, again, it's hairy. Now, a real key point to identifying self-heal is these tiny little flowers, these petals at the top. If you look closely, you can see they resemble an open mouth poking out its tongue. Now this is self-heal. Sometimes the bottom petal that looks like a tongue can also be a lighter shade of purple or white. So of course the most fascinating part of self-heal, Heal All, is its medicinal properties. Self-heal has been used across the globe for absolutely thousands of years in herbal remedies, within herbalism or plant medicine, whatever you'd like to call it. And the crazy, fantastic, incredible thing about self-heal is that many of these medicinal claims made by our ancestors have all been proven to be true today. How incredibly awesome is that? Self-heal can help stimulate the lymphatic system, and that helps us cleanse toxins from our body. It's antiviral, so it helps us heal our sore throats and cold sores and anything that ails our mouth. It's great for helping skin heal, and it can draw infections out the skin, and it's antibacterial, so it'll keep them wounds clean. It's also anti-inflammatory and a natural painkiller. You can also use it as an anti-allergy, and when drinking self-heal tea, many of these properties are applied within the body. Self-heal truly lives up to its name, Heal All. Self-heal. It's almost as if the earth is giving us a gift of this flower to help us heal ourselves. Now, if you're interested in bringing this plant into your life, or maybe creating a tea and gifting it to someone else to try and make their life better, or maybe making a soothing balm or oil, then come home with me and we'll show you how to make everything to do with the self-heal. And we're home with Stilly.
Hi guys! So now we're going to have a go at making some tea for soothing our insides.
And we're going to make some salves to show you how it can soothe your outsides too.
To make a fresh tea when you're out and about, or maybe when you just get home from your foraging walk, you just get some of the beautiful self-heal flowers. I'm going to use 3 or 4. And you can use the flower, and I'm going to pop the stalk in as well, because there's loads of goodness in there. Pour on your hot water, and we're going to let it steep for about 3 to 5 minutes.
So self-heal is such an amazing, beautiful medicinal tea. Of course we want to use it all throughout the year, especially in the colder months. So to preserve this lovely bowl of self-heal flowers is really easy. Simply get a cardboard box and line it with tin foil, chuck your flowers in, and then place them anywhere in your home. We place them on the windowsill so the sun comes over during the day and comes off, and they'll dry out. Then once they're dry, this has been drying for about 3 days, get a jar, simply crumble them in. And there we have it. That's our self-heal tea, and that should hopefully last all year long. I don't plan on getting sick that much. Now this is really good for soothing upset stomachs. especially after something like an IBS flare-up. It helps heal up your tummy, and you can also use it as a mouthwash to heal things like mouth ulcers and things like that. And it's just an incredible herbal tea. And now it's dry, we can enjoy it all year long. Now, to make one out of the dry tea, it's pretty much the same as a fresh one. Just get your dried herbs. We're going to use a plastic-free tea bag, a reusable tea bag. For each cup of tea, it's the equivalent of 2 teaspoons worth. If I can get 2 teaspoons worth in. My shaky, poorly hands are 2 teaspoons worth. Of course, you can just put it in a teapot and use a filter. But I'm posh, so I'm going to use a reusable tea bag. Add some boiling water. And just let that stew like a normal cup of tea.
The self-heal is really mild in flavour and actually really nice on its own, but I just fancy a bit of lemon today, so I'm going to squeeze a little bit of lemon in. So as luck would have it, guys, we have plans to make this beautiful self-heal recipe for you guys, and we both have horrific colds and sore throats. So I'm going to pop a little bit of our elderflower syrup in here that we made. So we've got honey, elderflower and self-heal. If this doesn't cure me, I don't know what will. Now we're going to make ourselves a lovely infused coconut oil salve with the beautiful self-heal. So self-heal is amazing for eczema, for cold sores. If you've got sore lips, it actually has something in it that stimulates cell production of your phagocyte cells, which is a big word, phagocytes. But they're the cells that actually eat all the nasty bacteria. So for skin healing properties, the self-heal is incredible. We're going to make ourselves a bain-marie. So a bain-marie is basically hot water in a pan, and then put that on the heat, and you pop another pan or a bowl or something to float on the top, and that way when we pop our oil and flowers in, they're not going to burn, they're just going to heat up and get the lovely heat from the hot water. So to make this salve, we're using coconut oil. This is such a good oil to use. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons. Coconut oil is naturally absolutely incredible for your skin anyway. And then mix that with your self-heal and have a potent collection. So I'm going to melt this down. I'm going to add 1/4 of a cup of our lovely self-heal. Squash it down. There we go. The coconut oil is all melted, and we're going to add in our lovely self-heal flowers. I'm going to give it a little stir up. And really coat the oil all over the flowers and get them nice and submerged. And I've turned my heat down quite low. It's a nice low heat, so it's just really getting the heat there but not going to burn.
So it's been going for about an hour now. It's nice and hot, and if you look closely, you can see that was clear, but now it's quite green. So that means that's infused enough for me with this heal oil to be able to help heal my hands, which is what I use it for. So now all we got to do is strain it into a jar.
I'm going to take it off the heat, and I'm going to use a sieve over a jug just to pour the oil through. Okay, then we're going to give it a little squeeze just to get all that goodness out. Okay, here we go. See that it's got like a bit of a green hue to it. So the self-heal has loads of green on the stalks and the leaves, and that's come through into the oil there. Just put a little bit more in, and I'll pop the rest in a pot. We're going to pop that in the fridge, and it's going to set and then be lovely for our skin.
Ding!
Ta-da!
There we have it. Self-heal tea.
And some self-heal balm.
Some of the greatest ways that you can use self-heal internally and externally for all its medicinal benefits.
Who knew such a tiny little herb could be so powerful?
One of the most beautiful, powerful wildflower medicinal plants in the whole entire world.
I really hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. As always, if you have any questions about either one of these recipes, pop it in the comments below and we'll be happy to answer them for you.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and if you're interested in helping us create more content like this, then you can support us on our Patreon. See you all next time.
Peace.